The alert came through at 11:47 on a Tuesday night. Wire transfer, outgoing, $22,000. I picked up my phone, read the notification, and sat straight up in the dark. This is the kind of cheating revenge story I never thought I'd be living. At the time, I just thought it was a banking error. I opened the app. The number didn't change. $22,000. Almost everything in our emergency account. Gone. Transferred to a name I didn't recognize. I told myself there had to be another explanation. I put the phone down. I didn't sleep. Marcus and I had been together for 9 years, married for 6. The savings account was joint, opened before the marriage, in my name first, with Marcus listed as a secondary authorized user. We'd agreed it was for emergencies only, medical, roof, car, nothing else. The next morning I checked again before I got out of bed. Transfer still there. Timestamp, 11:31 p.m. Marcus had been home all evening. I remembered watching him walk down the hallway before I fell asleep. At breakfast, he poured coffee, asked about the car keys, mentioned a work meeting. Nothing in his face. Nothing at all. I took a screenshot and sent it to my personal email before I left the house. That afternoon, I called the bank from my office. The wire had been authorized through the mobile app. Biometric login, his phone, his fingerprint. The receiving account was registered to a private individual. The bank couldn't release the name. They walked me through a dispute process, but they were clear. Authorized transfers are difficult to reverse. Timeline uncertain. I hung up and pulled up our full account history. I'd been checking balances, not movement. Month to month, the account looked normal. But when I sorted by transfer type, I found more outgoing wires I'd never noticed. Smaller amounts. $3,400, $1,800, $5,100, $2,600, spread across 8 months. Each one just below the threshold that triggers an automatic alert to both account holders. I added them up. With the $22,000, the total came to $35,400. Then I opened the credit card account. 2 charges jumped out immediately. A boutique hotel downtown, 3 separate nights, and a restaurant bill. Marcus had told me he was working late those nights. I clicked the hotel charge first. Small place. Private suites. Mostly couples. The restaurant receipt showed 2 entrees, 2 cocktails. I still didn't want to say it out loud, even in my own head. That evening, Marcus came home around 6. He set his bag on the counter and asked what I wanted for dinner. His voice was completely normal. I watched him move around the kitchen like it was any other night. Then his phone buzzed. He glanced at it and turned the screen away from me before setting it face down. It was a small movement. Quick. Deliberate. I didn't say anything. Later that night, after he went upstairs, I went back to the transfer records. I clicked the recipient details. Full name. I searched it. LinkedIn profile. Freelance personal trainer. Local. Her profile picture showed her standing in a gym, smiling at the camera. Marcus had liked 3 of her posts, all from 2 months earlier. The hotel charges, the dinners, the transfers. The timeline lined up too neatly. Not a contractor. Not a work contact. Not a misunderstanding. Then I checked one more account. Our retirement fund. Still untouched. but the login history showed Marcus had accessed it earlier that week. I looked at the timestamp twice, then a third time. He wasn't just spending money, he was checking what was left, planning the next move. Going through the paper statements the next morning, I found something I hadn't expected. One of the early transfers had a memo field. Most were blank. This one read, "For the deposit, like we talked." I went straight to account permissions. Both our names were listed as primary holders, but underneath that was the part I hadn't thought about in years. Withdrawal authorization settings, daily wire limits, approval routing. I remembered the meeting at the bank when we opened the account. The representative had asked who would handle large transfers. Marcus laughed and said, "She does all that stuff. Put her down." At the time, it felt like a boring administrative detail. Now it didn't. I scrolled through the settings and reread the line. All outgoing transfers above $10,000 required confirmation from the primary authorization holder, which was me. I went back to the transaction page, and there it was, under pending items, pending authorization, $22,000. Recipient, same name, scheduled that morning. He was trying to move the rest. I stared at the pending wire for a full minute. Then I clicked cancel. The bank asked if I was sure. I clicked confirm. The pending transfer disappeared. I changed the main password, the recovery email. I turned on two-factor authentication. My phone only. Then I logged into the retirement account. New password, new recovery contact, new security questions. I downloaded every transaction record from the last 3 months. PDF, CSV, confirmation logs. I saved copies to my laptop, an external drive, and cloud storage. I printed the summary pages and laid them out on the table in order. Transfers first, hotel charges second, restaurant receipts third, login history last. When I was done, the whole thing looked less like suspicion and more like a file. By noon, I had contacted a divorce attorney. Her reply came an hour later. Short. Professional. "Thank you. We should freeze the remaining assets immediately." I also hired a forensic accountant who specialized in divorce financial cases. She confirmed what I already knew. The account's premarital status gave me standing to claim it as a premarital asset, especially with documented proof that funds had been transferred without my knowledge or consent. I authorized the removal of secondary access that night. We filed the next morning. Marcus found out when he tried to log into the account and received an error message. He called 4 times before I answered. I kept my voice flat. I told him I'd spoken to an attorney. I told him he'd receive the paperwork. He asked what I was doing. I told him I was handling our finances. He started to say something else. I ended the call. The divorce took 7 months. The forensic accountant documented every transfer, each one traced to accounts connected to the same individual. The PI report was entered into evidence. The memo field for the deposit, like we talked, was included in the filing. Marcus's version of events got smaller every time a document was added. Every transfer was classified as dissipation of marital assets. The full amount was offset against his share of the settlement. He walked away with significantly less of the joint property than he had anticipated. The account's premarital status held. The retirement fund, $138,000, exactly where it had been when I first checked it. Same balance, same account, still intact. And the canceled wire sat in the transaction archive exactly where I left it. Pending authorization, $22,000, canceled by primary holder. That was the line I kept coming back to, not the hotel, not the messages, not even her name in the transfer record. That one line, I still live in the same house. My name was on the mortgage from the beginning. The savings account has a different balance now. Building slower than before, but moving. Sometimes, late at night, my phone buzzes with an account notification. I pick it up. I check. Everything is exactly where I left it. Marcus had spent almost a year moving money to someone else, staying just below every alert threshold, checking what remained. He had planned carefully, but he forgot who approved the transfers. And once I started looking, the documents did the rest. I used to think affairs were hidden in messages. Then I saw how clearly they show up first in bank records. The account opener is still the account owner. He never read that part.